Eileen Wuornos. A lot of serial killers have a messiah complex. They think that through murdering people they have godlike power to take life away. Eileen Wuornos was one such killer. In the space of a year, she killed 7 men. She was a sex worker and argued that most of these killings were in self-defense. But then, facing a death sentence, she came clean and said that she just killed them.
Nonetheless, you killed 7 men.
Yes, you
and
did.
I'm asking you, what got you to kill the 7
And
men?
I'm telling you because the cops let me keep killing them, Nick. Don't you get it?
She was sentenced to death and was set to die via lethal injection. To her credit, she did apologize to the families of the victims, but her final words showed that she literally believed that she was the second coming of Christ. Her last words were, "I'd just like to say, I'm sailing with the Rock, and I'll be back like Independence Day, with Jesus, June 6th, like the movie, big mothership and all, I'll be back." It won't surprise you to learn that she did not come back on June 6th. Number 9. Roger Keith Coleman. Roger Keith Coleman murdered his sister-in-law and was sentenced to the chair. The strongest argument against the death penalty is, what if the judge and jury got it wrong? The criminal justice system, after all, is far from perfect. And this is what Coleman said as he stood on the chair. His words were, "An innocent man is going to be murdered tonight. When my innocence is proven, I hope Americans will realize the injustice of the death penalty, as all other civilized countries have."
Mr. Coleman's last statement referred to about killing an innocent person. And he also stated that he loved his girlfriend, Sharon.
Number 10. Thomas J. Grasso. Thomas J. Grasso's crimes were particularly cowardly. In 1995, he used Christmas tree lights to strangle a defenseless 85-year-old woman. 6 months later, he strangled an 81-year-old man and stole his social security check. But Grasso is probably most famous for his last words. On your last day on death row, you have what will be your final meal. It can be almost anything you want, and most people go pretty extravagant and order steaks and lobsters. Grasso's last meal was a considerably long order. It consisted of 24 steamed mussels, 24 steamed clams, a Burger King double cheeseburger, 6 barbecued spare ribs, 2 large milkshakes, a tin of SpaghettiOs with meatballs, half a pumpkin pie, and strawberries and cream. But the chef got his order slightly wrong. The chef misunderstood that he wanted spaghetti with meatballs, which I'm sure a lot of you will agree is a much nicer dish. But Grasso saw this as a great injustice and made this known before he left the earth. His last words were, "I did not get my SpaghettiOs. I got spaghetti. I want the press to know this." Number 11. Albert Fish. Albert Fish was one of the most notorious murderers of the early 20th century. He's believed to be the killer of at least 100 children, but the true extent of his evil is something we will never know. He was a sadomasochist, and before being put on the chair, he told the gods, "It will be the supreme thrill, the only one I haven't tried." A witness during his execution noticed that Fish needed a few jolts to kill him before he died, and this was probably due to the number of needles Fish had inserted into his body. It took 3 minutes and several thousand volts to make sure that this guy was finally removed from this world. His last words were, "I don't even know why I'm here." He was a classic psychopath who did not even comprehend right from wrong. Number 12. John George Haig. John George Haig did not say much when sitting on the chair. His last recorded words were in a letter sent to his girlfriend. They read, "It is difficult to say farewell under these circumstances, but you will understand that you will always be in my thoughts. You know I have been proud of our association. It has always been an honorable one. I shall remember your great kindness and devotion. Now I must leave you." And these kind words give us the impression that he's a fairly decent and honest fellow. The truth is that he killed and dissolved 6 women in acid. He was known as being quite a charmer and used to commit crimes of all kinds, including murder, but he will forever be known as the acid bath murderer, and from being far from charming in reality.